Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Am I the Asshole music series, where we break down Am I the Asshole stories, but from a music standpoint. And if you're new here, you should know I do this for the overlooked, the underbooked, and the overprepared. You're not solo, you're meticulous. Am I the asshole for confronting another local artist for stealing my flow and style without actually using my lyrics? And the cardinal sin in hip hop has been committed. I've seen this happen a few times, mostly in group dynamics where one person in the group ends up sounding like another person in the group, or all of them end up sounding the same. I've even had this happen on a personal note with my brother. We'll get into that story if it goes there in this one, but let's keep going. I, 30 male, am a rapper from a mid-sized city where the scene is small enough that everyone knows everybody, even if we don't all mess with each other. It's starting to sound familiar because small, mid-sized city, it sounds familiar. I'm gonna hold my thoughts. I've been carving out my lane over the past couple years. I rap with a very distinct pocket, kind of laid back but choppy flow. I use triplet inflections but blend styles in a melodic way. Hard to explain, but if you hear me spit, you know it's me. Classic identifiable flow. Think about when Andre switched to his now iconic flow that we all know about. But before, when it was Southern Playalistic, he sounded like an offshoot of Big Boy, just not as good. I hate to say that because Andre 3000 is one of my favorite rappers. But when he made his switch, I believe it was on Equimini or AT Aliens. I'm gonna say Equimini. But when he made that switch, when he started dressing a little funky and a little weird, that's when we started getting that iconic Andre 3000 sound. And it's hard for anybody who uses it to not think about Andre 3000. So the fact that you're saying your style is very identifiable, it lends for a good case that somebody might be biting your style. Here's where things get weird. There's this other artist. Let's call him Kid Lingo. Wait 1 second. Kid Lingo, it sounds, that's a dope name, by the way, but it sounds like a real rapper. I'm assume this is not a real person. If it is a real person, I apologize to you. You might be in a little bit of trouble because you're biting and you're getting caught out right now, but I'm assuming this is a fake name. Please be a fake name. Please. There's this other artist, let's call him Kid Lingo, 25 male, who started showing up at open mics and cyphers in the last year. At first, cool dude, young, hungry, and respectful. That's how they always start out. And it sounds cool that they came through the right circuits, you know what I'm saying? But it sound like he was doing a little bit of investigation. Like a comedian goes to open mics and steals jokes. I've heard that thrown around a bunch, and it does happen in the hip hop circles. Just so you're aware. Then I noticed something. After a couple of videos started circulating, he started sounding a lot like me. Not word for word, not bar for bar, but cadence, identical. Vocal tone, matching mine more and more. Even his ad-libs and breath control started mimicking my style. It's hard to explain when somebody's taking your stuff. It's hard to explain, especially when it's not word for word. When it's not word for word, it can easily be misconstrued. It's like, he just happened to be in the same pocket. Drake has been accused of this many a time. We've also heard the reference tracks leak. This record sounds a lot like this one. The words ain't the same, but when he starts taking the breath control, my guy, if you like me, just say that. I brushed it off at first. Could be coincidence, but then he posted a clip with the caption, "New sound, new wave, original flavor." Oh, the audacity of some of these people. Let's act like I know what you're doing. Don't call it a new sound. I mean, kudos, because you covering your tracks, but my dude, Kid Lingo, I really hope that's not your name. You perpetrating on a whole nother level. Original, huh? People started tagging me in his comments like, yo, this low-key sounds like you. Bro is using your flow. I hit him up privately. Respectful. Yo, not accusing you of anything, but a lot of your new stuff feels real familiar. Just wondering if you are inspired by the same sources or if you've been listening to me heavy. Like I said, if you like me, just say that. But I applaud you, sir, for reaching out respectfully. Now, when it comes to these younger generation artists, that is seen as aggression. Because I remember years ago, it has nothing to do with this story, but it's related as far as sliding into somebody's DM. There was this artist that I was in a freestyle cypher with on a radio show. I'm not gonna say what radio show it is, and I'm not gonna say his name. You know how I do on this channel. But we shared this cypher. We started following each other. He fell out of my algorithm, but then he popped back up. He had all these followers that he didn't have before. And when I say all these followers, I mean, it jumped up maybe 200,000. And the traction behind it didn't make sense. The music didn't change. He had better production, better optics, but nothing really changed about what he was doing. And I slid into his DM. I said, hey, bro, did you skip some steps? Now, in my mind, I'm sliding into his DM, not making it public. I'm just asking the man to man. He took that as disrespect. It's like, hey man, you the police or something like that? It went left real quick, and I didn't mean for it to go left. I was just asking like, what's going on? And I was gonna pull him aside like, you might wanna take your time and not do this. Mostly because your music sounded the same. If that didn't change, but all these optics changed, something ain't gonna equate, and you might get looked at as an industry plan. Anyway, I'm getting beside the point. Either way, sliding into these younger artists' DMs on some respectful can be seen kind of sideways. He left me on red. Then he dropped a freestyle video with the hook using the exact same bounce I used in a track from 6 months ago. He got your message. Yeah, he got your message. And he sent you another message like, yeah, I'm taking your flow. He didn't even say that. He didn't have to say it. He taking your flows, bro. Hey, yo, since I got you here, if you have a wild story, janky promoters, studio drama, anything that made you question who was the real problem, I want to hear about it. I'm building this Am I the Asshole music story series off of real stories from people like you. The link is in the description. It's anonymous and it's safe. I don't need your name. I just need the truth. And while you're here, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the page so you don't miss the next one. All right. Let's get back to the chaos. It's like he flipped my blueprint, changed a few screws, and called it a whole new house. I know how you feel. I know how you feel. For anybody listening that doesn't understand, when you have crafted out your lane and you have made yourself identifiable, that's not an easy thing. We all grow up with a certain amount of influences, and those influences creep their way into our music. And when you realize it, you identify it, and you make an active decision to shift and find your own, it takes a lot of work. And to see somebody come in and just take yours that you've built and not even trying to pay homage or respect, because you can hear everybody's influences, but on this local level, when nobody knows who you are and somebody comes along and just takes all your hard work, there is no deeper knife to the gut. Like, bro, I've worked for this. Pay me some homage. I'm not saying pay me dollars, although dollars should be given. Pay me some type of respect that you got it from this entity, because we both out here working. And you probably gonna get more notice because you're younger, but dude, do me that little bit of respect and let everybody know where you got your style from. So I made a post. Didn't say any names, but I said, funny how your style starts catching on once the local scene starts treating it like it's new. I see y'all. Yeah, I probably would have been petty like that too, bro. I would have been petty like that too. I ain't mad at you. Now folks are calling me sensitive, saying I'm gatekeeping flows, that everyone borrows from everyone. Yet stop the cap. Stop it. Yes, everybody takes from everybody. The difference between using an influence and biting is not citing your source. It's plagiarism at its most basic level. Cite your source is what I'm trying to tell you to do. Everybody borrows from everyone, and that I should be flattered, but this doesn't feel like flattery. It feels plagiarized with plausible deniability. So, am I the asshole for calling out someone for stealing my sound, even if they didn't technically steal my words? The verdict has already come in. No, sir, you were not the asshole. I respect the level of petty you used without getting nasty. You know what you could have done different? You could have upped the ante on your flow. As the original source, as the person who invented this style that you have, I'm not even gonna say invented, that you just kind of curated and made your own, you could up the ante. I had this conversation one time with another rapper from New York. It's in the same vein, don't trip, I'm taking y'all someplace. We were talking about leasing beats off of YouTubers. He was like, you know, they come with a leasing agreement. You can only use it for so many spins. You can only use it for so many radio rotations. You can only use it for so many music video clips. What you gonna do after that? You know what, I told him simply, I'll just make another one. When the creativity comes from you, it's not hard to make a new one because you are the original. In the same vein, since you're the person who has this flow and it is uniquely yours, even though somebody else is trying to take it for their own, you could up the ante and double down on that flow. Do it in a way that you know nobody else can replicate, even if they tried. Still, respect to the petty by, calling them out. It could be seen as like hating. Some people can look at it as sensitivity. I'm a bet these are other young artists saying the same thing. It wouldn't be anybody of veteran status. Anybody 30 and up, 35 and up, ain't gonna tell you what you did was petty. Because look, my OGs that brought me up, they would have took you around back and handled that. It would have been some heavy swinging arms. Hey, but look, I promised y'all a story. So my older brother, he has this song. The song is pretty notable within their city. And not for nothing, the song is a bit older. Years later, when I come into the city, I come in town to watch my brother perform, there is another act that gets on stage and performs a song with the same title, same flow, not the same music because my brother made the beat for it, but they used the same type of bounce and they used the same title, and people got confused. After the show, my brother pulled him aside and was like, yo, you kind of impeding. Why don't you call it something else? Or why don't you pay homage and let people know you got it from here? Everybody in the city knew he was the original source of that title and that flow. So when my brother pulled him aside, my brother didn't notice until I told him later on, but the whole venue got behind him and was pretty much championing what my brother was saying. Like, change it up, do something different, but you can't bite it. It could have got real ugly. So just like I'm telling you, my OGs of the past would have took you around back and handled that. Younger artists, I would suggest, please pay homage, pay respects. It don't take too long. It gives you a longer life in this industry because now people are more willing to work with you. So I would suggest being a little bit more gracious to answer the question. No, my dude, you're not the asshole. You actually handled it a lot better than I would have handled it. I would have been way more petty. You could have actually doubled down on what you did, and anybody else who has uniquely identifiable styles, I encourage you to do the same thing. But those were my thoughts. What do y'all think? Tell me in the comments. Was my man's an asshole for calling him out on socials in a petty way? Or was it being a little too sensitive? I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments. Hey, hold up. Before you go, if you enjoyed this Am I the Asshole story, please make sure you click the playlist on the screen. The rest of the stories go just as hard, and some of them a little bit harder than this one. I'm trying to give you these stories weekly and possibly faster, but I need y'all to keep watching. So click the playlist on the screen and stay tapped in. And hey, if you have a wild music story, don't hold back. Go ahead and click the link in the description and submit your Am I the Asshole moment. It could be your story I break down next. Tap in with me. You know I tap back. Peace.
Everything meticulous.